David Ayler, and the weather is heating up, which means lots of spring parties and get-togethers. And today we're going to talk about what happens when an accident occurs at someone else's house. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I think this is, definitely a topic that's timely right now. So we go to like a barbecue. Something happens. You get injured at someone else's house. Now what?
Yeah, and that's where it gets kind of awkward. Ironically, us having this topic, I just had a client yesterday call me, actually a friend of mine that went to another friend's house that was selling a jet ski, and the dog got out there and bit him.
Oh,
He had
no.
14 stitches, and now I was like, well, what am I going to do with the hospital bill? And I just told him to watch today, and he could find out.
So tune in right now.
Exactly. So basically, in these type of situations, obviously some people get hurt really seriously, and they're usually in a social setting. So what we mean by that is that they're approved guests there. They're there because they've been invited.
Okay.
They're an invitee, as opposed to when someone trespasses onto another person's
Gotcha.
property. And then they've been injured in some way, whether it be something related to a railing on the stairs, some type of construction issues, or a dog. Dog bites. That's something that's fairly common. And then they don't really want to go back and sue their neighbor or
It's
sue their friend or even their relative and that sort of thing. So they don't really know where to go. But at the same time, obviously those hospitals bills mount up quickly. So what you have to understand is that these homes are going to have most often some type of homeowner's insurance, whether even if they're renters, the landlord might have it, or of course the people themselves. And that's where it really starts. The insurance company should cover those bills because it's an accident. That's completely different if we're talking about an intentional act where there may be some sort of like a physical altercation, that sort of thing.
So when you say home insurance covers it, I would think like falling down the steps, that would be covered. But a dog bite would be covered as well under your home insurance?
Right, yeah. And in looking at what it is going to be covered and what's not, sometimes you may have things that they say, well, it wasn't so much an accident as it was just something that person did wrong. So it is important to understand that, whatever it is, if it is a staircase or something like that, where, it's because of, the construction or lack of repair, that, go back and document that just as if you were in a public place, like a park or a school. A lot of people don't think that way, though. They just get injured and then they really don't have a per se report. That would be nothing more than some cell phone pictures, maybe. But when it comes to dog bites, absolutely. The dog's there, it's part of the residence. Obviously, it's on the residence because the homeowners either brought it there or own it and keep it there all the time, and it's their responsibility, and it's really a supervision issue if in fact if you get injured from one of those dogs.
So any of us who are planning a party in the future, like I've got a big baby shower coming up at my house, do I need to review my homeowner's insurance before I have people over?
You don't need to review it, but you probably want to check around particularly. I don't know how crazy this baby shower will get.
Not very crazy.
You never know, though. You just want to make sure that everything within your house, just different things that aren't left out, because there might be children coming over. A lot of times that's the issue too. There'll be something left out. Maybe people that don't have children, and then someone else will bring children over. There'll be some things that aren't really
on that toy truck.
Right, that aren't child safe, whatever it may be. Those are the type of things you just want to watch out for. But it's not something that people should try to protect themselves or be so concerned that they shouldn't have the event. And on the other hand, if you are injured, you're not ultimately going against the person. You're going against their insurance. It could get down the line further, but if it's a true accident, you get an attorney to help you through the process. The coverage is going to be there, and then really it just moves on from there.
So again, lesson learned. Something happened. It's kind of an uncomfortable situation always, but should contact you or an attorney right away just to make sure.
Absolutely, because you want to make sure that it gets from the very beginning, that looking at the issues of why it happened, what happened. Because if you have 2 surgeries down the line from some incident and you really handle it correctly in the beginning, that's going to make it real difficult when trying to deal with the insurance and get those bills paid.
David Ayler, thank you so much.
Thanks
for
having
being
me.
here
Love
again.
the new set.
Well, yeah, thanks to you. And Trial Tuesday again with David Ayler. We've got much more on Low Country Live right after this break.